Hello, hi those watching the replay. Welcome to this video. I'm just going to go in the group. So I'm doing this live in Women Creating Healthy Lives in case you were watching this on YouTube. And Women Creating Healthy Lives is my free Facebook community for women over 40. Come and join us there. That is where I just did a recipe today about making some jackfruit. So cooking with jackfruit to making it more like a kind of like a taco. So I'm just making some soft tortilla and tacos with this jackfruit, adding different spices to it. So that's where I kind of do, I show you what I've eaten during the day, or I give you little recipes. I do a lot of training. So that is in Women Creating Healthy Lives. If you're not watching this video from in there, then come and join us in that Facebook group. I'm just going to let them know I am live now. Refresh, and hello to those who are watching live. Say hello, post, say hello and comments, and let me know if you have any questions. If you have any questions that you want me to cover, let me know, because that is what I'm here to do. Also, is answer your questions. I would love to know if you have any questions. What we're going to talk about today, let me see what this one is. Too purple? I'm trying to find the filter that I loved, and I don't see it anymore. What we're going to talk about today is about the inner battle that goes on within, right? The problems that we have within ourselves, the fighting that we do when things don't seem to be working. Oopsie. Things like that. I'm trying to find a nice filter. This one is kind of funny, right? So the battle within. Do you guys have any questions or comments? Now this, it's a filter that I'm using because it looks better. Makes the lighting better, makes my skin show up better. I love these filters. And I'm trying to find my favorite one and I can't find it, so. So this topic, I was journaling the other day and I realized something about myself, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it was pretty eye-opening. And I'm just going to go back to my journal right now. It's just notebooks, because I go through journals in like 2 weeks. I'll have a journal done, a notebook done for sure. So I journal every day. So what it was about, oh, this is really good. So part of it, what it was about trying to force myself to do something because I thought I had to do it a certain way. And I get this a lot from women, a lot when they're going through my programs or when I'm working with women one-on-one. It's like, well, I need, like if you consider like, if I want to lose weight or if I want to consistently be healthy, it needs to kind of be done this way. And your old pattern could be, I need to just force myself to do this. I need to just force myself. It has to be this way, right? And then you're working on doing that and you're avoiding it at all costs because you don't want to do it, right? When you're trying to force yourself to do something you don't want to do, you're going to avoid it. That's at least me. And also because I identify as the rebel. I always have. So inside of me, I have this little rebel girl who doesn't like to be told what to do, wants to fight against systems and rules, right? So it's like getting to know yourself, right? And you probably know who you are inside. Who do you identify as? And I want you guys to think about this. You can post it below. I would love to know if you know. It could be, so another thing that some people identify with is that, hi Catherine, is like the perfectionist, right? I do things really well, so I have to do it this way. I have to do it good, or I'm not going to do it at all. Why bother doing something if I'm not going to do it right? Because you could have been told by a parent or by a teacher, there's no use doing something unless you're going to do it really good, or unless you're going to do it right, right? Haven't we been told that? But the problem with that is, I'm just moving my light. Sorry, guys. That's my tripod. And I'm flipping you around a million times. Sorry about that. That's my tripod. My tripod is crap. I need to get another tripod. I keep saying that, but I have to order it on Amazon, and I hate online shopping. I'm probably one of the only women who hate online shopping. I hate it. Too many choices. Far too many choices. Okay, so when we feel like things have to be done a certain way, or you're a perfectionist and you're saying to yourself it needs to be perfect, and so you do something, you do really well, but then, right, you kind of slip up or something, which isn't a slip up. So and things don't go perfect one day, you give up because you're like, that's not perfect, so I give up. And why? Because that's a pattern. That's who you have been for years. That's who you identify as. And the situation, because you've slipped up or whatever, in your head, that means failure, not being good enough, not doing something correct. And it means kind of like you're not a good person. You've done something wrong. You've disappointed yourself. You've disappointed others, right? So notice these patterns in yourself. Notice what goes on. And you probably already know what some of these are. Another one could be people pleaser, where you're the type of person, I'm just checking the internet, you're the type of person who is known as this really wonderful, nice person who does something for everybody. She holds everything together. And usually people pleasers, believe it or not, kind of have control issues. Because when you do things for everybody else, when you take the action, when you do the things, you are in control. Right? That feels good to you. It also feels good to you because other people, you in your head, you feel that you're being judged as a good person, right? So when I do these things for others, when I think of others first, when I put myself last, all of that, I'm a good person. Like that is good. And so it makes you feel good to be a good person because you identify as all those things as that's good. That's the way I'm supposed to be. Right? Do you get this? So then you continue to be that way. So when it comes time for you, let's say, to go on a healthy eating plan, exercise plan, whatever, and you're trying to give yourself time to do things for you first, not for other people first. What happens is inside your head, and your nervous system feels very uncomfortable because it's right out of the norm. It's like, this isn't you. You're not this person. Why are you doing something for yourself? Alarm goes off, You're a bad person. You're not thinking of others. You're being selfish. You shouldn't be doing this for yourself. You shouldn't be doing that. People are going to judge you. What are people going to say? Right? And so then you sabotage. You don't do it. You put yourself last again because that feels better. That feels good. But the thing is, it doesn't feel good because you don't want to be that type of person anymore. Right? So I was just realizing, in my journaling, there's part of me that is still being that person who is the rebel. No wonder I'm not following through on what I'm trying to do because I'm telling myself, forget it. I'm not going to do it. You can't force me to do it. I don't want to do it. Don't make me do it. Right? I wrote it down. I'm like, that's what's going on. So I was writing down, things and ideas, and I'm like, I know what I'm not doing. And I'm right, what's bad about it? Diana, what's bad about it? What don't you like about it? And there was nothing, really. It was just like, well, it's going to take this time. It's going to, and it feels like it's not going to go. What if it fails? Then I've wasted all that time. And another thing here, I've wasted all that time. You know what the most important thing is to me? Freedom of time. Freedom of time. Freedom of choice. So when someone takes away my time or my freedom of choice, I'm not happy, right? So if I'm believing, this is on my business, right? If something I'm going to do in my business is going to take away my freedom of time and is going to take away my freedom of choice, right? Like when you say, you need to sacrifice some time. I'm like, I ain't going to sacrifice. I'm not going to sacrifice my walks in the trees. I'm not going to sacrifice going shopping when I want, like grocery shopping. I do that a lot. When I hear in my head that something means I can't do what I want, I will freaking sabotage that thing. I will not do it. And that's my inner baby rebel, my inner child who's such a rebel, right? And that's why we keep, that's why we can't stick to something. That's why we can't stay with something. That's why we don't do it, even though we know we should. So exercise is a huge one for some people. Going to the gym is a really big one. Sometimes in the kitchen. Some people don't like cooking. They don't want to get in the kitchen and make something to eat. And so there's something behind that. So I want you guys to think. So I identify as a little rebel, as a rebel. I'm proud of that, right? Which I always have been. I'm a tough chick. I'm independent. I do what I want. I'm a rebel. You can't tell me what to do. This is a lot of a Scorpio. I get to do it my way. I will find a way to make it work. I don't care if I have to give up whatever. I will do what I want, right? So that's me. So I really want you guys to think, what is something within yourself? What do you identify as? Is it like the perfectionist? Is it like someone who does things really well or doesn't do them at all? I'm not going to waste my time doing something if I can't do it really good. Why would somebody do something half-ass, right? So for people who look at my videos and on YouTube, I get comments, you guys, of people watching YouTube videos who are like, how can you do that? This is so annoying, and on and on. And I'm like, I don't choose to do it the way you want me to do it. I do it my way, right? It's like, because I just refuse to try. I'm not a perfectionist, right? Like, I would rather do something than wait until I do it perfect. That's me, right? So what are you? Do you know? What do you guys identify with? Let me hear it below. Write down in the comments below. There's people watching. I want to hear what's your little thing that you struggle with? Do you know? Do you even know? And you'll know. It's just that you might not be willing to face it right now. So write it down below in the comments. I've known about my inner rebel forever. Basically, I mean, people told me that's the way I was, right? I was always told that you're strong-willed. You are, what was some of it? A free spirit. You're flighty. You don't stick with anything. Your head's in the clouds. What are some more? I can't remember the one about blonde. It was like ditzy. And that's because I'm all over the place, because I'm creative and I'm interested in a million things, and I don't stick with some things, and I go off, and do my own thing. And I love that. I always loved being multi-passionate, right? But then when you're growing up, sometimes people think that, well, why doesn't she stick with something? And I always thought that was bad. I'm like, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. Why can't I stick with something? Why am I so flighty? But here's the thing. You will stick with something that you really love. Okay, you guys, comment in the comments. No one's commenting. Get on the comments now. Get on the comments. Get on the comments. 6 people watching. Post a comment. I know you're here. So what do you identify with? What is something within you that you battle with, that you know is part of your personality or identity, alter ego, whatever you want to call it, right? Mine's my inner rebel, the girl who wants to do things the way she wants to do them. Miss Independent. I don't need anybody. I can do it all on myself. I don't want to do what you don't want to do. You can't make me, right? Perfectionist, Sandra. Good for you. How about you, Catherine? Are you still watching? 6 of you guys. Post a comment. Let me know what you're going through. Let me know how you think of yourself. And believe me, it holds you back in some way, right? And having this awareness is huge. So if you're not sure what you would call yourself, at least post in the comments and write something you struggle with. Write something you struggle with. And maybe we can come up with what's kind of behind it. And that'll give you an idea of, oh my God, that's really what's happening with me. Another thing is... oh, here's a really cool one too. So if I'm somebody who never liked, if I didn't like a situation or a thing, I would say I hate it. I don't like this. I was afraid to like it or be happy, because if I liked something or was happy with something, that means that I didn't want to change it, that I had to live with it forever, right? So it'd be like, this is a good example. So if you have weight to lose and I tell you, you must love your body the way it is now, and you're saying, no, I don't. I won't love my body or myself until I lose 20 pounds, right? And why? Why can't you just love yourself now? And it could be because you're thinking, if I love my body now, that means I am satisfied and I'm okay with the way I am. And I'm not. and I'm not. And that means that maybe I wouldn't put in the effort to change it, right? So if we accept ourselves fully, completely, I love myself now, and this is the way I am with my circumstances. If I say that, then maybe I won't put the effort in to change it, and it will never change, right? So that's another huge things that hold people up. It's another huge things. Perfectionist, all or nothing. That's a big one. That's a big one, all or nothing. And that trips so many people up. A lot of women in my programs actually have that pretty much. Oh God, majority of women who come into my programs have that. It's not me. I'm not like that either, which is funny. But I tend to attract a lot of clients that are all or nothing. What's the one? Overthinking, then I get discouraged. Overthinking. Oh, let me think about that one, Kathy. So what would you identify as then? I don't know. I don't know enough yet to take action. I won't, let me see. I can't take action unless I know I'm doing the right thing. Would that be it? Or I can't be frivolous or look stupid if I start something and it's not right. So I want you to get more behind what are the emotions that are you afraid of. So if you were to just start something without really thinking, or you could be seen as she just acts on her emotions, like she's emotionally driven. She doesn't have any logic. She's not being smart. She's not being responsible. Things like that. I want you to get behind it for yourself and think, what are the emotions that drive that thought or that worry? So for me, I act out of emotions, not thinking, which too much is not a good thing either. So I'm completely emotional. I will like sell everything because I'm emotionally mad at all the stuff I have. And then later I'll go, oh my God, I shouldn't have sold everything. And I did that before I went to Bali. So I will act out of emotion. Everything first. Emotion drives me to act. That's not always good, right? Now I'm beginning to bring in more. Okay, there are some things that I need to sit back a bit on. So maybe, Kathy, maybe you can find out what's behind there. Am I scared that if I act before I'm sure or thought enough, if I act out of uncertainty, what if I make the wrong mistake? What if I screw up? So that's what's driving you is fear of failure, fear of screwing up, fear of being judged, fear of being seen as not intelligent, not responsible, not smart. You could have in your family, maybe it was that emotions were seen as like an emotional person, someone who was passionate, excited, emotional, blah, blah, blah. Like that was like flighty. They're not smart. She's got something wrong with her. She's never going to amount to anything. Things like that. So there's a lot behind it. Oh, yeah. Judging, yeah, Carol. That is a huge one. I used to feel like that kind of. So I used to be really muscular, really super fit, really super ripped, like amazing shape. And I've lost all of that, right? Because of injuries and stuff. And yeah, I don't go to the gym as much. And when I started going back and saw myself in the mirror, it felt really bad, right? I felt like, oh my God. So it's like you still expect yourself to have that body and you don't. So you're disappointed in yourself because you're not who you used to be. And you're judging yourself for not being that way. And that's holding on. So we have identities. So mine is a rebel, and I will hold on to being the rebel man. The problem is we should be fluid. We should be growth, changing, flowing, expanding all the time. But as humans, very, 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 very common for us to hold on to something. So you're holding on to that and feeling not good enough because you're not what you once were, right? And it's more like you're not that person anymore. So stop trying to hold on to being that because you're not. And then what happens in our head is like, well, I want to be that person again. I don't like who I am now. So that again comes to You're not happy with who you are, and you're afraid that if you accept completely who you are now, that maybe you won't change it, that you will stay like this forever or get worse. Right? So self-judgment, you're the only one judging yourself. If you walk into a gym right now, no one would have a clue. I walk into the gym, I get stared at because people know that I've changed. They're like, oh my God, look at her now. That's terrible. I laugh about it now because I had to let go of that because it was not healthy for me mentally, right? It was not, and it happens when we're aging, you guys. That's why I like these Facebook filters, because they make my skin look smooth and not wrinkly, right? As we age, and this is the part of midlife that is so crucial and so few people talk about, and this is really where my interest lies, is accepting the changes that our body go through, knowing that it's going to cause some emotional up and downs, and it's going to cause judgment. And the ones who are judging is us, right? We will say, oh, they probably think I look terrible in this, so they probably think this now. Or I'll see a guy I knew years ago, and he probably will think, oh my God, she looks so much older now. Look at all her wrinkles, right? I do that. Or her body's not the same. But it's really ourselves judging ourselves. And we're just disappointed. We're just like having a hard time moving forward and being different, right? So, but the thing is that we are always moving forward, always changing, always evolving. So a toddler, when they become older, I don't know what you call it, preteen or whatever. I don't know what's after a toddler. Child? God, I don't know. You know, when a toddler doesn't hold on, they don't become 10 years old and go, oh my God, I wish I was still a toddler. Oh, I look back to those toddler days. I was amazing. I could play. I was happy all the time. I didn't have to go to school. It was just fantastic, right? Like, we can't hold on to those old times, right? And judge ourselves that we're not good where we are now. And also, you would never tell your child to do that, ever. You would never let your child say those things to you, right? So we got to remember, like, take the advice you'd give to your kids, right? Or your best friend. Because we are the hardest on ourselves. And so but holding on to those things just makes your life miserable. And the thing is that I had to learn about myself. So I was extremely fit, extremely ripped. I was seen as like the super fit girl. Everybody thought I ran marathons. I never ran a marathon in my life. But I did trail running, I did adventure racing, I did mountain biking, all of that. So that was my identity. That was who I was. Everybody knew me as that. Then when my health got all whatever, my body broke down, and I was a personal trainer. So my body broke down, and I had to stop all that, and then my muscles started to like disappear, not as muscular. I changed my interests. So I recognized that something wasn't feeling good within my body. And so it's like you got to let yourself evolve. But it doesn't mean that what you do in the future is not going to be as good. My future's going to suck. My past was better. So what you got to do is kind of like allow yourself to evolve, but also you get to choose what you evolve into, okay? So the thing that I was noticing as I was going into victim, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm not this younger, good-looking, fit person. Sucks, right? Okay, you could live the rest of your life like that, and it could get worse. Or you could choose something that's going to interest you. What do you want to do now? What interests you now, right? And of course, I started getting into food, more raw food, and got into all that whole scene and healthy eating, and then studying menopause and the change of life and the hormones. So it's like, what are you going to grab onto next? Stop holding on to the past. Look for something to focus on now and in the future. And it doesn't have to be forever. What do you want to focus on now? So if you're not happy with something in your area now, change it, or look for something new to get excited about, because we are unlimited. Like, there are so many cool things. I'm doing pottery now. Love pottery, right? So I found a new interest, a new creative outlet, and a way of doing it. I love pottery, right? So it's like, what's next? That's the attitude to have. When we don't have that attitude, we're only going to feel down. We're only going to feel, and nothing's going to feel right in our life, right? It's going to be like, oh, my life is just crappy. There's nothing to look forward to. Yeah, that's right, Catherine. Excellent. Yeah, so Carol, you can choose like something else to be. Maybe if you love competing or you love doing that, like then choose something else that has that element. Get back into weight training. Oh my God. I wish I could. I can't. I can't weight train in my upper body at all. So just wear baggy clothes, whatever you got to do, get back in the gym and get back to loving the process of developing muscle. Because I love to see my body transform when I was younger, right? Yeah, get back into it, do it, find a new routine, get a personal trainer, maybe even do something completely different like power yoga, right? So find something that can maybe excite you and get you on that track again. Or do CrossFit or something different, right? Try something different. Because we need to see ourselves as evolving, but also we just notice that what are you still hanging on to? What label about yourself? What identity? And you don't want to lose. And what identity, like I said about the rebel or the perfectionist or the people pleaser, how are those things holding you back? Like how are they causing you to actually sabotage things in your life, right? Because they feel normal. They feel like, well, this is who I am. This feels normal to me. And so you keep going back to that. That's why it's so hard to actually continue moving forward. And another battle that we move along with is, so easy example is healthy eating. Most people say, I just can't stay consistent with healthy eating. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like what goes wrong, right? And they're like, well, I'm doing really well. I eat good. I do it for quite a while. And then one day I go to McDonald's or something. And I'm like, so how is that any different? I don't understand. What? So you went to McDonald's. It didn't stop anything. You didn't fail. You just went to McDonald's. Get over it. The next meal, you can have a healthy meal. Right? So for me, I'm like, I'm consistent with healthy eating. I eat healthy consistently. I don't eat healthy 100%. I don't eat healthy every day all the time. No. But I consistently, it means most of the time. It doesn't mean all of the time. Right? Do I still have chocolate every once in a while? Yep. Do I still have French fries? Yep. Do I drink alcohol sometimes? Yes. Do I have coffee? Yes. I never say, if I go to a restaurant with my friends and I have, I like those Beyond Beef burgers or whatever, but I have to have gluten-free bun because, oh my God, gluten-free bun, and then I'll have some French fries. I never get home and go, oh my God, I failed. I freaking failed. I am not a good eater. I'm crap. I ate that. I shouldn't have eaten it. Now I failed. I stopped. I'm not consistent. No, it doesn't mean anything. It means you had one meal that was a little bit off what you normally eat. So that's pretty good. You see what I mean? There is no falling off if you eat healthy consistently most of the time. Because most of the time is not 100%. And it's okay to choose to have a meal like that every once in a while. But make it a choice. I'm choosing. So if it's emotional, which happens sometimes, good God, it's like you're upset, you're emotional, you're frustrated, something happened that you feel you can't control, and you go out and you binge on chocolate or ice cream or whatever. It's okay. No big deal. You didn't ruin anything. You were human. You had an emotional experience. That's what you chose. But you get to look at it and go, wow, well, I don't want that to be every day. That's for sure. And it probably wouldn't be every day. You only go downhill if you think or use it as an excuse to continue eating that way. So if you say, I failed, I'm a failure, I might as well continue to be a failure. What that means is that you identify already as a failure. You wouldn't continue it if that was not your identity. Ooh, that's a big one. So, rebel, my identity. So when I get pushed, when on and on, that rebel will just keep on going. She'll continue. Why? Because I identify as it. Now I'm learning all of this, of course. I'm changing it, but that's how and why it lasts. So if someone says, I did really well, and then I just went bad. And I couldn't get back. You couldn't get back and you continued down that one route. It's because that is your identity still right now. So wherever you fall off, so like the perfectionist, right? If you did really bad, well, you did really good, I should say, but you weren't perfect and you let yourself slide back. What it kind of is that I'm a perfectionist, and if I can't do it good, perfect, I don't do it, right? So that means you don't do it. I'm the person who doesn't do it. So if I would say to you, okay, I want you to, you're going to change to eat healthy consistently, and that's just going to be your life. This is who you are. It's going to be a road because as soon as you slip up, you're going to believe I can't do it. I can't do it because I didn't do it perfect. And if I can't do it perfect, I don't do it. So therefore, I don't do it. I can't do it, right? You see what I mean? It's very strong. So when you believe that in your core, I can't do it, you won't do it. You won't allow yourself to do it. Because if you allow yourself to eat healthy consistently with, and just being so happy about it, it contradicts who you believe you are. It will contradict who you believe you are. So my rebel, if I just say, okay, yes, I'll just do whatever you say and I'll just follow all the rules and I'll just be happy and blissful no matter what, right? Anybody who's a rebel knows that's really hard. I can't do that because what happens is it's like, that's not me, 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 that's not me. You can't really be who you're not, right? So what happens is it's like a bit of dismantling all the time. I still get to choose. So I still get to choose. Okay, I don't need to be that strong of a rebel. I still get to make my decisions, but I'm going to make my decisions from a more mature place instead of that inner child rebel. The inner child rebel will make child decisions and crazy decisions and emotional decisions that are way off whack, right? So I just know, I'm like, okay, you still are in charge, Diana. You still get to make your decisions. But how do you really want to feel, do now as this adult person, who you are now, not reacting from the child, right? And so, when all this happened regarding the masks and the COVID and staying home and things not being open and you can't do this, you can't do that. I mean, I flipped out really, every bone in my body, every nerve in my body was freaking out because there was no way I could rebel, right? I was rebelling, but there was nothing was going to change because I wanted it to change, right? So I had to learn to adapt and choose, well, if they're saying no to this, where am I saying yes to myself? And that's, going for walks out in nature. That was all I could do, right? That's all we could do for a while. In March, that was the only happiness I had, as I want to say that. Cook. I like to cook. I was feeling so controlled. And I wanted to rebel. So I just wanted to tell everybody to F off. because that's a rebel. I'm like, the worst thing I can do, which is so frustrating, is I can swear, get that energy out, but nothing's going to change. And then I cried, right? It's not working. And so I noticed that I was just like this little child kicking her legs and crying because I'm like, I can't rebel. Like, no matter what I do, nothing's going to change. And I'm mad, right? So you just see how these things run your life. And you just start to kind of make a decision and go, okay, wow, I see this. I can't continue to be that. But I'm choosing to, be a little bit different. I'm still who I am, but I'm choosing a different way. And that's kind of what we got to do as we age. It's like this choosing to flow, evolve, but you get to choose, right? And if you think, well, I choose, so I choose to be strong and fit again, and I'm not, so I'm bitchy about it. Well, that's victim. That's like, poor me, I'm not who I once was, I'm mad that I can't be that, I'm pissy, I want things to change. Well, that's reacting from like that little child, right? And so again, it's like, well, as I talk to myself, Diana, grow up and stop being the victim. You're not the victim. If you don't like what's happening, you make a change. And what are you going to change it to? Because I have no patience to listen to you. That's how I talk to myself, right? I don't want to listen to your victim, you being a crabby, and you talking about the things you don't want that are here. It's time for you to take control, empower yourself. What are you going to do about this? For you, right? Always for you. And again, that's putting yourself radical responsibility for you and your action. But it's really good to kind of like uncover what's going on and see yourself as the human that you are. None of us are perfect. We don't need to be perfect, right? It doesn't help. You get to be the way you want. You get to evolve, change, kind of in a direction, Okay, I'm choosing to be a little more like this. I'm choosing for things to go more like this for me. I see that that's kind of what I imagine and kind of what I want. So I'm going to work myself towards that. Things like that. You can't change in a day. You can't change in a night. Well, some people can, but that's a lot of expectation. So let go of, and just notice where you're holding on to your past patterns, the way you want things to be. And notice what identity you are still holding on to and how that stops you. It's a really important thing. We deal with that in all my programs. And I think we're going to do our next one, my new program which is coming in 2 weeks, 21-day program. About shifting identity is about letting go. And it could be about anything. And that's such a good one, like what Carol was talking about. We're going to talk about how to let go of the things that you see and you may not even be aware of, right? That are kind of still causing you some distress. And it's an ongoing thing. There's always something. And there could be something in different areas of our life, right? It could be. And sometimes it's a theme. My rebel affects, believe me, romantic relationships. My rebel affects my business. My rebel affects relationships with family. My rebel affects relationships with friends. My rebel affects all areas. Exercise. Oh yeah. If I try to force myself to do something, that's not going to work. My rebel affects what I eat. If I try to tell myself, you cannot eat that, you need to eat that's not going to work either. That's why I choose to eat that. I choose not to eat that, right? And I make it my decision. But I also choose to make healthy choices because I choose health as very important to me. See what I mean? It's all based on I get to decide what's important to me. I get to decide how I feel about it. I get to decide the actions that I take, right? So if I want a fit body, I'm going to choose to exercise in a certain way. I'm going to choose, do I want to exercise at home? Do I want to exercise at the gym? Do I want to exercise outside? What's it going to be, Diana? You need to make some choices. And if I'm going to choose to lose weight, I will choose how you're going to do that. What feels good? What are some things you can start now? Right? It's not, I have to, oh my God, I'm so not looking forward to this. Because that will not work. And this is all what I teach in my programs. It is so empowering. It is so, when you get to make your choices, you take away the excuses that you once had because none of them are valid, right? You strip away the excuses. Whatever is going on in your life, in your body, in whatever now is what it is. What do you desire to change? What little things can you do to make that change happen? All of those things. What's the next step? What can I make the next step? What can I do right now? And then tomorrow, you do it again. Because tomorrow, you may not want to do exactly what you did the day before. Or you can choose to do the same thing as you did the day before. Right? So it's like this gaining back this you, because you are the one who gets to be empowered. And you are the one that gets to create your life. And you are the one who, of course, gets to love your life. And if you don't love your life, that's a huge sign. You don't have to love it like, oh my God, everything's just so perfect. Because mine's not that way. But there are times in my day, like when I was walking with my dog today, where it's like, oh my God, I love this part of my life. I love these walks in the woods. I love time with my dog. I love today. Today is so beautiful. What a beautiful day. Like those are the things I say. I don't focus on, oh my God, I can't be happy. Oh, this walk is good. Yeah, but the rest of my life sucks. So I'm like, I don't know why I'm happy. I should not be happy because so what if this walk is good? My rest of my life is crap and I'm not happy with it, right? But that's the way most people live. So I really want you guys to pay attention. How are you choosing to experience your days and your moments and your minutes and all of those things? Do you guys have any questions or comments or aha moments? What have you come up with? Before I end this video, let me know what, thank you for watching, all of you guys. Let me know what resonated. Also, I have a YouTube channel, which I forget to talk about. Almost 800 videos. Almost 800 videos, you guys. Way back to my raw food days when I did lots of raw food recipes when I was 2010 or 2011 was when I first started my YouTube channel. Come and subscribe. I would love to have more subscribers on there. And you can binge watch videos for days. But do you guys have any questions, any aha moments? And my new 21-day program will be, yes, it is always to do with the food. Yes, you always get recipes, always, always. But we are also going to focus on some of these things that I talked through tonight. Really about moving forward, letting go of the past, choosing how we want to move forward, choosing our new identities in a way, you know what I mean? Letting go of the old childlike ways that just trip us up. Great, good, Catherine. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. Like I said again, and I do one-on-one coaching. I have you can take 1 session, 3 sessions, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever you want to do. Ongoing prices, all levels, because I always find a way to work with you that works the best. And then, of course, I do my programs like my 21-day program. And I have a where to start. So you can go to my website, dianamarchand.com, and I have some free, really, really, really good trainings. One's 3 keys to midlife weight loss. It's a free video training, 3-part video. Excellent, excellent. And then I have one, prepping and planning to eat healthy all week. That's on my website too. If you go to my website on your phone, it's going to land on a page that's one training. Go to the menu, look for the other ones. For some reason, when you go on my website through your phone, it doesn't land on my main page. I don't know why. I hate tech stuff, believe me. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Go over this video, kind of go through the questions that I ask, kind of do a little bit of soul searching, a little bit of journaling, a little bit of getting real with yourself. And then, of course, you get to decide and choose your life, your future, the way you eat, the way you exercise, all of that. All right. So much love to you guys. I got to figure out how to close this because, oh, there we go. Okay. Have an amazing evening. I changed the filter. Bye.